What is up, everybody out there? You know who this is. This is Jason Christ, Jason the Baptist, Jason the Messiah, he who is holy, the one and motherfucking only, the Las Vegas guru, the Miami Beach guru. Hey, I don't make all these names up. This is just what's being said out there in the streets, remember? And who am I to deny the streets? Got a little bit of Dead Milkmen playing in the background. For those of you who don't know who they are, I highly recommend you try to figure it out. Kind of like an old band from my childhood, and maybe I'm just old, right? Either way, I love the Dead Milkmen. So let's get this all going today. First and foremost, happy Friday to everybody out there. I know, Friday already, huh? I think tonight I'm going to celebrate by going to a really nice store here in Henderson and called El Fuego and get myself some really good cigars. I like a nice cigar and a nice glass of rum or a nice rye whiskey, something like that. It's just something I enjoy. It's kind of man shit, right? And that man shit's kind of real. Woman shit too. You don't ever think that a woman can't smoke a cool cigar, and it's kind of sexy in a way. A woman smoking a cool cigar and having a nice glass of rye whiskey or something as well. Some cool shit too. Equal opportunity for everybody out there, all right? So, it's Friday, and you know what that means. Today, we're not going to do any of the self-help stuff. I get a lot of people asking me about the self-help stuff, and lately I've been getting a lot more, and it's really been taking off. And everybody's like, well, can you give any quick advice? So I'm going to do some real quick advice before we get going, okay? Here's the best advice I can give you for the day. Never take diet and exercise advice from a big fat person. I'm not disparaging big fat people. I got a belly. Now, if I try to tell you what it is you're supposed to eat so you can be healthy and fit and all of that, you're going to look at me and laugh. But if I tell you where to get the best tacos in all of Las Vegas, your eyes are going to widen, your ears are going to perk up because I know these types of things, all right? Diet and exercise, I can help you out, kind of. But tacos, I got you. All right. Never take love advice from somebody who doesn't have a decent relationship. If somebody's trying to tell you what's best to do in your relationship and they fail miserably at every one of theirs, they don't know. Plain and simple. I'll give you one more quick one here, all right? Never take financial advice off of somebody who's broke. That's a pretty good one right there. Because everybody seems to think they know how they're going to make $1 million. And they're going to tell you how they're going to make $1 million. But never listen to anybody on how to make $1 million who hasn't made $1 million. Because the truth of the matter is, they don't know. Plain and simple. They don't know. Now, that'll be my quick little bit of advice for the day. Take that to life. Take that to heart, soul, whatever it is you got to do. Hey, if it pissed you off, it pissed you off. All right. So what we're going to talk about today is this kind of fucked up situation. This is going to be a little bit into the life of Jason. And what we're going to do is my very first tongue piercing. Not the first one I ever did, but the first time I got it done. All right. And little spoiler alert, I didn't want to do it. That is the key right there. I didn't want to get my tongue pierced. So let me take you back, way back, because you know what? We're going to where? The 1990s. I'm sure that PJ Harvey was probably on the radio, or a little Limp Bizkit. Oh, God. Remember those guys? Or possibly even a little bit of Everclear or something like that. And definitely Goldfinger, was probably playing on the radio as this all transpired. What happened was, I don't even know why I'm telling you people this. You're probably going to laugh at me, but this is to let you know that even though they call me Jason Christ, Jason the Messiah, the Baptist, he who was holy, the one and only, the Miami Beach guru, the Las Vegas guru, you name it. They're probably calling me these things. I'm a human just like you. So we're going to go back to God, this had to be like 96-ish, maybe 97. I'm getting old, can't remember these types of years. So, I went on a date with the girl who later turned out to be my first wife, all right? First date. So we go and we're in Sioux City, Iowa, for those of you who don't know. Rep the sewer, a little bit of 712 right there. Either way, I don't care what anybody says, I love Sioux City. Sioux City may be a little kind of a crappy place for a lot of people, but I love the sewer. You take the kid out the sewer, but you can't take the sewer out the kid type situation. So, we went on our date. And so, if I remember, I can't remember exactly what we did first. I'm sure we went to a movie, probably The Crow or something like that, You see, that part of the day wasn't as memorable. What was memorable is I drove from Wayne, Nebraska, where I was going to college. I drove all the way over there. And now, granted, I'll be real, it was like negative a billion. If none of you have ever been out in the Midwest, the Siouxland area, if you will, in the wintertime, that shit's like negative 20 degrees. And this was one of those days. It was at least negative 10, negative 15 degrees outside. I had a shitty Ford Tempo with no heater. No heater. So that meant that every time the windows would ice up, I would have to scrape a hole with my scraper to be able to see out the window. So I was constantly scraping the actual inside of the car window. All right. No heater, 15 below, in a piece of shit Ford Tempo. I remember driving all the way over there, freezing my ass off, and so happy when I got in the car with her because her car had a heater. Now, I'm sure we went to a movie, and then we probably went to wherever else, probably get something to eat. We were very young, teenagers, and very poor. So we probably ate some, who knows, some crap, some tacos probably, hopefully. Yeah, man, I'm a taco type of guy. Everybody knows me, knows that I know my way around a taco. In fact, all food is always better when made into taco form. I don't care what it is. You put it in a tortilla or a pita or a flatbread or anything, instantly better. So, she had her tongue pierced. And I'm going to be real. I thought it was pretty cool. I was a young guy. Of course, you think of the other aspects of a tongue piercing, which really aren't true, believe it or not. I mean, a lot of people think that the oral aspects are going to be insanely better, but they either know what they're doing or they don't. Tongue piercing or no tongue piercing. I always thought it was cool, though, none the same. Now, I had seen it since I was a kid. I remember the very first piercings I ever saw were actually at a swap meet, and a dude who used to do piercings in his van, and I would actually try to help him out, etc. But we were talking about her tongue piercing, and she was telling me about her friends who had it done and all that. So me being me, thought to myself, I'll look cool. But I'm not cool. That's the trick. I'm really not that cool. I said, yeah, I've been thinking about getting mine done. I really want it done. I thought that would be the end of it. Instead, this little 5'2" girl looked at me with these big brown eyes and said, well, I know exactly where we can get it done right now. Instantly, I thought, shit. This girl's calling my motherfucking bluff. Now, she doesn't know I'm bluffing, but I'm bluffing. I'm thinking to myself, fuck, how can I get out of this? But then I came to a realization. Possibly if I impress this girl, I'll get some booty. This is what I thought. Now, this is the teenage brain at work. So I said, damn, baby, where we gotta go? I'll get this done right now. So, of course, she spun a circle wherever we were, and we went downtown over on Pearl Street to the spot at the time that was called Yo-Yo Dine. Now, Yo-Yo Dine, if you're listening, don't try to sue me for disparaging you or anything like that, because I'm really not. Remember, this was the 90s. You didn't know what you were fucking doing yet either, okay? So, I go there. And we go inside the store, and it's a smoke shop, kind of. Pipes weren't actually legal yet in Iowa, so you had to buy like little pieces. Back in the day, you had to buy all the little pieces and screw it together, and it was kind of like a build your own pipe through buying pieces of random little like metal chunks and stuff. It was kind of cool. I'm gonna be real. Back then, it was kind of neat because you had to earn your pipe because you could really. The thing. It's kind of neat as you wanted. Granted, we were smoking through metal, so that was kind of bad. But I'm to the point, right? We'll skip the pipe part. She had that, and then in the back was like this little body piercing area. Now, this is very rudimentary, mind you, because you have to realize, once again, this is the mid 90s. It's not even the late 90s, it's the early mid 90s. And, body piercing just wasn't really big yet. Not big at all. In fact, it was kind of a small knit community. The people that had them and the people that were doing them were very small at best. But it was just before it really started taking off. So the girl goes to me, the owner of the store says, well, the person isn't here yet, but I'll get her. And she's like, but you have to pay now. I'm like, oh, fuck. If I pay now, I have to wait. So I'm like, okay, cool. Because I'm looking at this little girl on my arm and I'm thinking, this chick's cute and I'm going to get me some booty. And I'm thinking, yeah, this is 18. I think I was like maybe 19, something like that. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So I'm thinking, cool. So I pay, and at the time, that shit wasn't cheap back then. Now you can get the piercing for like $25, everywhere with decent jewelry, a lot of places. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I charge more than that, of course, but I charge also for decades of experience. But back then, I think it was like $70 that I paid to get my tongue pierced. Now I go into the back, and she's like, I got to get the girl. I sit down, and she sets up the tray, basically, right? Now, granted, there was no sterilization packets. And I looked at that and she's like, oh yeah, if you put it in an autoclave, you don't need the packets, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I didn't know. Nowadays, I'd have been like, whoa, and I'd have run out the door. None of that type of shit. So she gets the girl. And she's kind of like this biker chick that comes stumbling in. She had to get this bitch out of the bar. She comes in, visibly drunk, smelling like booze. And here I am like, oh crap, this bitch about to pierce my tongue. And she's like, yeah, well, blah, blah, blah. And I'm barely listening to this girl. And finally they get everything going. She puts the clamps on and she's all shaky. And I'm like, crap. Now, granted, on the inside, I'm screaming like, oh, this is going to suck. This is going to be terrible. I don't want to do this. I want to get out of here. Just let me run, 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 run. Now, but on the outside, I'm stoked. I'm like this. It ain't no thing but a chicken wing hanging from a fish's string because I'm thinking, I'm going to get some booty. And that's all I'm thinking in my head because I'm a teenage guy. But on the inside, like I said, screaming and wanting to run away in terror. So this girl, she looks at me and she looks at my date, future ex-wife, and looks at me and says, I can't hold the forceps and do the piercing at the same time. Right then, I should have ran. And I mean ran. So she looks at my date, future ex-wife, and says, hey, you hold the forceps for me and I'll do the piercing. Not cool. Not cool at all. Because you have to realize she had never held a pair of forceps in her life. Granted, I'm going to give it to you now. Those of you who know her, she owns, her name is Eve. She owns Maya Body Modification, formerly Maya Tattoo in Sioux City, Iowa. It's been there for like 23, almost 25 years now. Probably one of the greatest shops in the Sioux City area for piercing, guaranteed, number one. And probably, she's probably easily one of the best body piercers in the entire Midwest. I would say probably top 10 in the country. I'm gonna give her her props. We don't have to get along to give her to respect her work and give her her props. But at that time, she didn't know shit. Nothing. So here's what I said. Yeah, baby, you hold that shit. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing hanging from a fish string. I'm Jason Christ. He who is holy, the one and motherfucking only. Now, back then, I might have been more like Jason the Baptist or something like that, but it doesn't really matter. Either way, here's my date. Holding the forceps, pulls my tongue all the way out of my fucking mouth. I swear, I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know my tongue was that long, and it surely wasn't. Because those motherfuckers were on there tight. As my dad would say, tighter than frog pussy. And it hurt like a bitch. I mean, that shit hurt. The forceps hurt fucking insane. And here's her. Tiny little ass. With my tongue pulled all the way out. Shaking like a fucking leaf. Because she is terrified about the whole situation going on. I'm trying to act like the man. Like, ain't no thing. Ain't no thing. It was a thing. And here comes Drunky Crow chick here with the needle shaking in her hand. Like this, shaking. I'm sitting there looking at the two of these people. I've got my date holding my tongue out, way extended out of my face, further than it needed to be pulled out, clamped tighter than it definitely needed to be clamped, shaking her damn self. A drunken biker chick shaking like a motherfucker, and my tongue getting ready to be impaled. So she looks at me and she's like, you better take a deep breath in, dude. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I take a deep breath in and bam. She puts that thing in, the needle. And I'm not going to lie. It hurt like a motherfucker. And it's not supposed to. Hurt like a motherfucker. And then she goes to ramming the jewelry through. Finally, the jewelry's through. She puts the ball on. She's looking at herself as if she just succeeded. This was a great experience for all of us, right? No, it was a horrible experience for me. Then, here's the kicker. $70. The girl can't hold the forceps. Has to have my date, my future ex-wife, hold the forceps. She's shaky as shit. The drunken biker girl, shaky as shit. The owner of the shop looking on, and what I honestly think should have been terror. She should have stopped the entire situation and refunded me my money and said, please don't tell anybody about this. Wasn't the case, though. Looks at everything like this was an accomplishment. Here's the way the piercing should look. Nice and straight, up and down, possibly a little bit of a kick to work with the palate of the mouth. My shit was like this. It was the most crooked tongue piercing probably in the history of Sioux City piercing. Most crooked piercing I ever paid for. Most crooked piercing, damn near the only crooked piercing I've ever had. Horrible experience. But I looked fucking tough. I looked badass. And I got some booty. What else? What does it matter after that for a teenage guy? Now, I'll be the first to say my date, future ex-wife at the time, might remember it a little bit differently, but I guarantee if you were to ask her, she would tell you that it was a fucked up experience. And she'd probably laugh her ass off. Probably at the fact that I actually went through with it, looking back, especially what we both know these days. Yeah. So that happened. And here's the fucked up thing. I kept that son bitch for years. And then years later, I had a dude re-pierce it, thinking that they would straighten it out, and he pierced it in the exact same spot. And he's like, yeah, look what I did. It's in the exact same spot, exactly how it was. I was like, it was fucking insanely crooked before. And now, there was this dude, Willie. I said, now, Willie, you pierced it exactly as crooked as it was. It was supposed to be straightened out. Long story short, later on in life, I actually re-pierced it myself and made it go straight. But, yeah. Long story short, most crooked, horrible piercing, horrible experience, piercing-wise, that I've ever had in my life. I paid $70, all for one thing and one thing only. Well, two things. First and foremost, to look tough and cool. And secondly, I wanted that booty. Now, we've all done dumb things as guys for a little bit of booty, I guess. But, fuck it. I guess it was worth it, you know? Hey, I got to tell you all about it. Yeah, that was it. That was the first tongue piercing experience, and it wasn't really good. And here's the fucked up thing. If I had to go back and do it all over again, I probably would. You know, looking back on it, I would. It just fuck it. It's a cool story, you know, in the end. It's cool to look back on. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there and girls out there got something very similar type of story, you know. And it's cool. It's some cool shit. I guess with that, I'm gonna pretty much get ready to let you all go today, you know. It's a nice little quick one. We get to learn a little bit about Jason. You know, Jason Christ. Jason the Baptist, the Messiah. He was holy. You all know me. Just Jason. You know, I am actually going to be posting up a lot of videos coming up on probably on the YouTube page as well. Well, I'll start redoing ones from the YouTube page, some of the older ones, and I'm going to start putting those out for you all so you can kind of scope them out. A lot of them really fun. A lot of them from back in Miami. But other than that, I want everybody out there to have an absolutely wonderful weekend, you know. Try to enjoy it. Be safe, you know. If you're a guy or a girl, enjoy a nice cigar. This is me. Enjoy a nice cigar, nice glass of rye whiskey, or nice. I love my nice Appleton aged rum. I'm getting old, starting to turn into my grandpa, I guess, you know. Big old cigar and a glass of rum, right? But hey, that's what happens. But enjoy yourself. Be safe. You know, have a good time with your family, your friends. And remember, life is short. You know, life is 5 blinks, so try to make the best of it this weekend. And don't drink and drive, all that type of shit, you know. So I want everybody out there enjoy it. I know I'm going to. All right, everybody. In the famous words of Canada E, well, not right now, all them dipshits up there, you know, with their semis trying to block shit off. I was watching a lot of that on the news this weekend. They're pretty funny. They're almost as dumb as our people, our idiots. But as I say in old Canada E, peace out. Or as they should be saying, because of the wonderful show Letterkenny, pitter patter, get at her, Bonnie McMurray. You know, that's what they should be saying, Bonnie McMurray. But as I say in old Miami, hasta luego, dale dale ciao. And as I love to say from my beautiful adopted hometown, my not so subtle, not so sweet, Las Vegas, Nevada. Deuces. I'm out. And remember, regardless of whatever it is you try to do, if you try and you fail, give yourself a gigantic high five and a congratulations, because few people ever will try at all. And remember, every step you take forward, whether it be a small step or not, is just that, a step forward. All right, everybody. Love y'all. I will catch you on Monday, and I'm going to be real. I have no clue what we're going to do yet, but I'll figure it out before then, okay? All right. Deuces, everybody.